The flash gun is a great piece of kit to use in low light, but it also has a tendency to kill the atmosphere. Now, a fantastic way around this problem is slow sync flash, and I'll be showing you how to do that in this tutorial. This technique is useful in a number of situations where you want to balance the ambient exposure with a burst of flash, such as portraits against a cityscape at night, but it really comes into its own when you want to add motion blur to your flash shots. So let's take a look at how it works. As the name implies, this technique combines using a long shutter speed with a burst of flash. So let's start by setting the camera up to record the blurred part of the exposure. Now I'm using manual exposure mode, allowing me to set the shutter speed and the aperture. And the first thing to think about when setting the exposure is the amount of ambient light. For a relatively slow moving subject like ours, we'd struggle to achieve the right balance in bright conditions. But there still needs to be some ambient light to record the movement of the subject. So we need to choose a shutter speed that suits the speed of the movement of the subject and the amount of blur that we want to record. For our subject, we'll start with a shutter speed of 1/8 of a second. That means we need to set about f5.6 to record the ambient light. So let's take a quick test shot to check the ambient exposure. Yep, that looks about perfect. So now we can add the flash. Now I've got the flash set to manual, again to give me full control over the exposure. And in manual mode, I have to set the power level of the flash according to the distance between the flash and the subject, and also the aperture and ISO settings that I'm using. So with the flash on the camera, and I'm around 3 meters from the subject, at f5.6 and ISO 200, I need to set the flash to quarter power to get the correct exposure. Again, I'll take just a quick test shot to make sure that I've got the good balance between the ambient light and the flash exposure. And that looks fine. So now there's just one last setting that I need to look at before I can get going with the shoot, and that's called rear curtain sync. Now this is to do with when the flash fires. Normally the flash will fire at the beginning of the exposure, which is fine for static subjects or fast shutter speeds. But with a moving subject, it means that the movement is frozen at the beginning and the blur occurs after this. This can make the shot look unnatural, as we're more used to seeing the blur occur before the sharper part of the image. So now I need to set the camera to rear curtain sync by pressing the flash button and using the input dial to change the flash mode on the display. So now we're ready to go. Now using this technique, we need to take lots of pictures, as some will capture the combination of blur and flash freeze much better than others. So I hope you enjoy taking your own slow sync flash shots.